All right, we got a video here. This is the future of Star Wars action figures and play sets. And is it in the hands of the fans? Because this is a growing thing that it's really shocking. Here's a droid that you could get off of Etsy for $31.99, and this isn't Hasbro made. This is a fan thing. Here's another one, the Duel of Fates. So somebody's 3D printing all this kind of stuff. It's more than one guy. So look at the price of this, $115. Here's another one, Jabba's Palace on Etsy, $166. And so what's going on is, I guess the fans are so pissed off that Hasbro and Disney, they're not giving you what you want, that they're making this stuff on their own. Here's some aliens from Jabba's Palace. $199 for a handful of these things on Etsy. Okay, here's the tower from Jabba's Palace. That old monastery, the Bomar monks. So this is 3D printed. Look at the price of this, $237. So there's like a large movement here. Here's plans for the sail barge, the katana. So you could print this out. You send this guy 4144 and he'll send you a digital file with the plans to make this thing on your own if you have a 3D printer. Now here's a guy that'll print you the Tantive 4, the blockade runner, for $449. If you don't want to do that, you could buy the plans from another guy for $24.99 and make it yourself. And here, like this stuff, like you get all the different here. You got the guns. See? That's what you build it yourself, and you got to paint these little things here. See how that's really sloppy looking? And then here's one on eBay. Come on, you can load. $190. It's Palpatine's office. And so is the future of Star Wars toys and action figures? Because, you hear these things with Ollie's is getting loaded up with junk that nobody's buying from the current shows. These are all based on older stuff. This is, probably what, Revenge of the Sith? So that's 20 years old, and then the rest of this stuff is all the original trilogy. Now, would people be building customs of current stuff? Well, maybe if you get a cool figure here and there. But it is shocking. And what else is shocking is Disney and Hasbro. I don't see them going after these guys. Why would you let these guys build this stuff? And, like this one for $449. If this guy shows up at a convention, and sells 5 of these, that's like $2,500. Or, give or take $2,300. My math kind of sucks, but people see this stuff and they go crazy. Like, hey, I never had a toy of this. This will fit the 3.5-inch figures, 3 3/4-inch figures. See, here's the gunner station. Here they have the escape pod for the droids. What else is in here? Here's all the different troopers that were on there, and Vader and Leia and all that junk. And this thing opens up, and here's the gunner station. There's a thing, this opens up for the 2 pilots. Here this is. Yeah, see, here's the pilots. So, is this just that Hasbro and Disney are behind the times and they don't know what to give fans? Or, do fans know best? Because, to me, that's always been the thing where the fans, they know what they want, and when they see it, they go gaga. And, people are buying this stuff. You look at Etsy, it's all over the place. So how come Disney and Hasbro don't take this stuff down if Hasbro's paying all this money for a license, and everything that they're producing is getting, thrown into the junk pit over at Ollie's for a quarter of what, they probably expected to get for it. And you see Target is so expensive, and same with Walmart. I saw the Black Series the Acolyte, the Wookiee Jedi, at Walmart, they wanted $36 for it. So they already jumped the price with these tariffs. And Target had it for 24. But here's another thing. Is this stuff going to increase with the tariff prices? If people, I'm going to have to pay $50 for one of these lousy action figures. Are you going to see a ton of bootlegs on Amazon, eBay? I just sent away for a zombie Death Squad commander from that one. They got that one novel that there's a rumor that they may be making a movie of. It's Star Wars. It's the cover of the novel. I don't know the title of it, but it has a stormtrooper helmet with a hook going through the eye socket. And then where the mouth is, it's like eaten away and you got blood and guts hanging out of it. But very, very interesting that this would happen, that these guys are doing this. And nobody's saying anything. And I'm not complaining about it. But if I had money tied up in this stuff, like whatever Hasbro has to pay out to Disney, I would definitely have a group of guys be watching the internet and, hey, take this stuff down. They don't have a license to make this. They're just protecting their property that they have the right to make. And, Hasbro can make something like this out of a cheap plastic. Look, here's the droid. C-3PO, that's a 3 3/4 inch figure. So this would just be like a half a shell. That's the front of it, and you turn it around and you have 3 layers or whatever, 3 different floors. Stickers are the, like a control panel, a torture thing, whatever else is in here. You could probably have this door go up, and they want $237 for this. I'm sure that Hasbro could probably knock something like this out for $50-$60, and they'd still make money. But hey, nobody's listening to me. But yeah, here, $24.99, the Tanit 4 could be yours if you want to make it. If not, if you don't have a 3D print and you're lazy, you could shell out $449 to get it. And then who's to say, what if you get ripped off? What if you get one of these guys at prices like this, he takes a whole bunch of orders and never fulfills them and then shuts down the account? Do they have the power to go after him? I don't know. I don't deal with Etsy. I know eBay, they'll charge your credit card or whatever. Because I've had some issues where I've bought stuff and these guys, they never even send the confirmation that they mailed it. And, it'll tell you, oh, it should be here within 2 weeks. And I'm waiting like 6 weeks. And I'm like, hey, where's the item? I'll send the guy an email. I never got this. I still want it. Where is it at? And then right away, he'll refund your money. And I still give them negative feedback because I'm on a budget here. I'm not made of money. And these guys are tying up my money that I have earmarked for different stuff. And that's not right either, that, they're advertising stuff that they either don't have or they have no intentions of looking for it or whatever. They got it listed. Well, where's it at? So, there's a lot of problems here, but, I'm really shocked at the amount of this stuff. And will this stuff grow in the future? That's what I want to know. I want to know, are the fans going to be mad enough where they're like, you know what? I'm not buying that junk at Ollie's. And look at what they're giving you, the hallways. This is basically a hallway too. A little bit more. You got the pit. But, you're getting like, the Tanit 4, the hallway. You're getting the carbon freezing chamber. You got to buy 2 of them to make it work. Same with the hallways for like the Tanit 4. You got to buy 2 of them. So they're forcing you for double the price. Well, here, you could just buy the whole thing here for $449. Everybody have a good day.